Okay, we're looking at study guide number 3. We're looking at problem number 1 and 2. So number 1 has the diagonal measurement of a picture frame is 28 inches. The frame is 18 inches. So let's see if we can draw a picture of that. Here is our picture frame. It's 18 inches tall, and the diagonal stretches across like this, and that is 28 inches. Next, it says, what is the measure of the angle formed by the diagonal and the 18-inch side? So you know this is your 90 because of a rectangle, so you have these two pieces here. This one is formed by the diagonal and the base, but we don't know the measure of the base. So that means they're talking about this angle measure here, diagonal and 18-inch tall. And it's x because we want to find to the nearest tenth of a degree, which means you're looking for a degree measure. So first of all, we have to figure out which trig function works for this. So I know that 28, anytime we have a diagonal, that's going to be your hypotenuse. I know that 18 is right next to the x degree, so that's the adjacent side. And if I think through sine, cosine, and tangent, I will remember that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So I write cosine x equals 18, that's the adjacent side, over 28, the hypotenuse side. Then remember, when you don't know the angle measure is when you type in the calculator cosine -1, 18 divided by 28. When you type that in, you should get, it's actually 49.9, and there's another number behind that which rounds it to 50.0 degrees since we're taking it to the 10th. They may show you this as 50 or 50.0. Either way, pause and write down if you need to. Okay, number 2, we're talking about a house here. Has a triangular shape, house top represented by triangle MNO with measure of MN, congruent to measure, and this is a typo, we need to change this to MO. And MO is 8 feet. The sine of angle N is 0.4. So in part A, what is the height of the roof from point M to NO? So let's look here what we know from this top. We know that these two sides are congruent. And if you think of any house top, that would have to work for that house top in this shape to look right. Then the next part is they talk about point M perpendicular to NO. So let's drop down a line from M to the point that it matches NO. And when we do that, we create two little 90-degree triangles in here, which is what helps us to be able to find the height of this rooftop. So if I want to find the height, I'm going to label it X, not to confuse us with H. If I want to find X height here, I know that they gave me sine of angle N. So they gave me sine of N. So that means they want me to use angle N. So sine N is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So I go back and I say, well, I know the opposite of N is X, and I know the hypotenuse, because it's across from the 90, is 8, and I actually know sine N is 0.4, so this is more of an equation than actually typing anything in the calculator. So X is being divided by 8. Opposite of divide is to multiply both sides by 8. So multiply. These will cancel over here. 8 times 0.4 is going to be 3.2. So that would be the height. Now part B says, what is the approximate length of NO? So it's wanting to find from here to here. I have to use what I know. I don't know enough to find that all at once, but I know enough to find half of it. So I can find this piece. And then from there, I can double that to find the whole thing. So I'm going to pull that one triangle we were working with out. So this was N, this was M, there's the 90 degree. I knew this was 8, and I just found the 3.2. So I know this side's 3.2. Now, when you're dealing with this, you know two sides, you're looking for the third side, X, just use Pythagorean theorem. Remember, that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to do x squared plus 3.2 squared equals 8 squared. We've talked different ways you can do this, but you basically subtract off the 3.2 squared. You should get x squared equals 53.76, I believe. You're not done, though. You have to take the square root of that. So x equals 7.3. Go mark your answer. No, don't forget you only found x. We need, that's this little piece. is 7.3. We need all the way across though. So we're going to have to take 7.3 times 2, and then we get NO equals 7.3 times 2 is 14.6, and that's my final answer.